So, good afternoon, class. We are already done with phase 3 to 6 last meeting about the implementation stage in merger and acquisition. If you can still remember, phases 1 and phases 2, they are about planning, and phases 3 to 10 um, are all about implementation stage of merger and acquisition. So in our previous lesson, we discussed the search process, which is the phase 3 of our of merger and acquisition, and then how companies select their prospects. We also discussed that. So companies choose their prospect based on, of course, the industry, the size, kung kaya ba ng budget nila, and the location, if it's a local or an international company. And the phase 4 of merger and acquisition is the screening. So once they have already selected their prospects, they will screen. So if you filter nila hanggang sa lumiit yung listahan nila, and later on, isa na lang ang may iwan. And that is the phase 4 of screening. And after that, after the company had already screened their list, the next phase, which is the phase 5, is the first contact. Iko-contact na nila ang kanilang prospect. It can be direct, or let's say they will call the company, or they will send an email, or through an intermediary like lawyer and banker. Or they can, if they have a personal relationship with someone they know, or the owner of the company, they can also directly talk to the owner of the company. And then lastly, we also discussed last meeting the phase 6, which is the negotiation. So for the negotiation, that's where the real game really happens, because as we discussed, the buyer, of course, they want lower price, while the seller, they want a higher price. So dapat mag-agree sila sa price ng acquisition for them to let's say merge or acquire that target company. So today we will discuss the next phase. So once they're done with the negotiation, the next phase is the integration planning. So kapag nag-agree na sila sa price ng acquisition, then they will go with they will continue with the acquisition. Pero kapag hindi sila mag-agree, then hindi matutuloy ang merging and acquisition. Ang next phase, once they agree, next phase is integration planning. So here, wait, this is already like the part of our discussion today. Let me just, this one. Okay. So our objective for this afternoon is we have already discussed the first two, and for the negotiation, yeah, we are already done with that. So we will just continue our discussion in the phase 7, which is the integration planning. So for this one, ang integration, it starts before the closing. So bakit nangyayari yung integration before yung closing? Kasi para ma-solve lahat ng mga issues at walang chaos after the acquisition. Okay? So, ang mga consideration or key considerations na tinitignan dito, ano ba yung mga kasama na kailangang pagplanuhan? Kasama dyan, syempre, yung mga employees. Kailangan during the integration, syempre, yung mga employees, wala silang issues, or they agree with the acquisition, the customers, the suppliers. So these are the the people that needs to be considered when integrating into one company or merging. So these are the most, ito yung mga dapat i-consider because they are the most affected stakeholders. Siyempre kapag mag-merge, apektado dyan yung mga empleyado. Yung mga customers, apektado din. And of course, the supplier. Ang pinaka-importante, of course, is trust. Siyempre kapag wala kang trust doon sa acquiring company, for example, magkakaproblema. So, ang integration phase ng merger and acquisition, nagfi-fail yan siya kapag walang trust. So, it's important na yung mga employees, hindi sila mag-resist doon sa change. Kasi syempre, for sure may pagbabago. Kasi, especially if yung target company in-acquire ni acquiring company. So, it's a different company na. Kumbaga, may mga pagbabago doon na kailangang mag-adapt yung mga employees ng target company, di ba? So, employees might resist this change. So, ang pinaka-importante dito sa part na to is communication. So, it's very critical na mag-communicate ng maayos yung acquiring company doon sa target company. Okay? Para mag-gain nila yung trust ng mga employees, ng mga customers, and ng mga suppliers. Okay? And then we have the integration manager. So, sino naman itong integration manager? So, sa integration phase, merong manager na ina-assign. So, ang integration manager, this is the person that leads the transition. Siya yung tao na nagli-lead doon sa change ng transition ba from target company into a merged company. So, kailangan dito, ang manager, kailangan meron siyang leadership skills, meron siyang communication skills, and project management skills. Importante yan. Kasi siya yung nag-o-oversee ng transition at nagko-coordinate sa mga departments. Okay? So, yan ang role ng integration manager. So, once natapos tayo sa integration or natapos na yung company sa integration, ang next phase naman dyan is closing. So, sa closing, pag sinabi nating closing, that is already the finalization of the acquisition of acquiring that target company. So, ito na yung bilihan. Magko-close deal na sila dyan. Magbabayad na si acquiring company kay target company kung magkano yung acquisition price. Okay? So, ito yung bilihan. Yung ownership ng target company is ita-transfer na siya sa acquiring company. So, mag-merge na sila dito sa phase 8 or the closing phase. So, ano ang mga requirements sa closing phase? Ito yung mga requirements. Kailangan, before closing, merong approval from the government or regulatory agencies. Dapat may approval yan. Number 2, kailangan may approval din yung mga shareholders or yung mga part owners ng company. And once nagkaroon na ng approval from the regulatory agency or the government and the shareholders, dyan na ma-finalize yung contract. Mako-complete na ang contract. So, these are the 3 requirements in the closing phase. So, ito yung mga importanteng details sa deal. Number 1 is price, of course. Dapat yan is yung agreed price. Payment method, paano babayaran ni acquiring company si target company? Is it through cash basis ba ang acquisition? Or through stock purchase? Or number 3 is liabilities. Liabilities naman yan, isa ring importanteng detail sa deal provisions doon sa kontrata. Kailangan nakaspecify yung price, payment method, and the liabilities. Okay? Next, we proceed with the legal concepts. So, for the legal concepts, these protect both parties. So, kasama dyan yung representations and warranties, yung mga truth statements, covenants, yung mga agreement between the acquiring company and the target company, and the indemnification. So, ang indemnification, that is the protection from loss if in case na hindi mag-prosper yung merging, then what will be the protection from the loss? So this part, of course, it's legal concept. So this is very technical, but it is also very important and critical part of the deal. Okay? So that's the legal concept. Next is we have the phase 9, which is the post-closing integration. So kung kanina before the closing meron ng integration, after the closing there is also an integration or the post-closing integration na tinatawag natin. Ano ang kasama diyan? Sa post-closing integration, this is where the real work begins. So dapat i-communicate yung mga changes or mga kailangang adjustments na gawin. Diyan din papasok yung when it comes sa retention ng mga employees, kailangan bang magbawas ng employees or i-retain nila yung mga employees na yon or hindi. And number 3 is i-align yung operations. So, syempre, this is already like merge. Kailangan nilang i-work on kung paano i-align yung operations nila from, the target company tsaka yung acquiring company. Well, there will be challenges sa integration. So, ito yung mga common problems sa challenges or sa merging and acquisition. So, ang common problem dyan, of course, resistance to change, di ba? Sabi nga nila, kapag nag-introduce tayo ng something na bagong, let's say, procedure, bagong plan, bagong, ang tawag dito, trabaho, there will be resistance. May mga tao or may mga empleyado na ayaw nila ng change, ayaw nilang magbago. So, isa yan sa mga challenges ng merging and acquisition. And then, another thing na magiging problema din is of course the cultural or culture clash. Siyempre, kung iba yung workplace culture ng target company doon sa acquiring company, magka-clash talaga yan kasi magkaiba sila di ba? And another thing is the system integration issues. So, kung merong mga operations na pagkakaiba, ganun. So, magkakaroon din ng issue yun. Magkakaroon ng problema if yung operation ng dalawang company is magkaiba. For example, sa culture clash, if those two companies have different cultures, there will be a conflict. Siyempre, ang kultura, importante, di ba? And mahirap minsan mag-adapt sa kultura ng iba. For example, di ba, sa subject namin na international business and trade, when your company plans to, let's say, expand abroad and there are different cultures, especially sa Middle East, iba yung kultura nila, 'di ba? So pag ikaw Pinoy, doon ka magpapatayo ng negosyo sa Middle East, kailangan mong tignan yung kultura nila. Saan ka papasok or ano yung mga kailangan mong i-adapt. So, yun, kapag hindi mo kayang i-adapt yung kultura nila, doon ka magkakaproblema, 'di ba? For example, ang Middle East ay hindi kumakain ng pork. Tapos meron kang restaurant na nag-o-offer ng pork. So, kailangan mo i-consider yun na you are entering a Muslim country, hindi ka pwedeng mag-offer dyan ng pork. Or let's say, sa offerings mo ng mga pagkain, it should be, ano ba kinakain nila? Mga beef, di ba? Except pork. So, yon yung mga challenges sa merger and acquisitions. Okay? Next is evaluation. So, sa evaluation naman, when we say evaluate, ina-assess niya yung post-closing activity ng dalawang company. And i-measure din dyan yung performance nung dalawang company and i-assess yung success rate. Naging successful ba ang merger and acquisition or not? So, dyan yan sa phase 10 ng merger and acquisition or the evaluation phase. Ina-assess yung success. Next, we have technology. Ano ba mga technology ang ginagamit sa merger and acquisition? Of course, we have artificial intelligence. Yan na yung ating, this is already the technology that we are using right now. Diba? We have artificial intelligence, we have virtual data rooms, and we have blockchain. Ano ang risk ng technology sa merger and acquisition? Just because nag-i-exist yung technology, it doesn't mean na laging maganda siya. It's not always good that we are relying on technology. Bakit? There are risks. Ito yung mga risk ng technology. If we over-rely on technology, over-reliance, and this data privacy issues, ito yung pinaka-big thing when it comes sa technology risk. Yung privacy natin, di ba? Yung privacy ng mga data. Kahit nga super secure na ng ating mga digital platforms, minsan nahahack pa, minsan may mga problems na nangyayari. So, ito yung pinaka malaking issue, yung data privacy. Okay? So, to wrap up this discussion, merger and acquisition, the success of merger and acquisition depends not only on planning. Hindi lang sa pagpaplano nakadepende yung success ng merger and acquisition. Kasama din dyan yung execution tsaka integration. Okay? Yung tatlong ito, napaka-importante sa success ng merger and acquisition. Planning, execution, and integration. So, that's it. My final question to you. Ito, ilalagay ko na lang to sa ating Google Classroom and please answer these questions. What is the most risky phase? Do you think what is the most risky phase among the 10 phases of merger and acquisition? And why do merger and acquisitions fail? I think we already answered the second question. So, only answer the first question. What is the most risky phase for you in the merger and acquisition? Okay? So, that's it. And good afternoon.